Hi, everyone. Happy Christmas in December 2024. I'm Dr. Fletcher Piri, and I would like to take you through how to use the Writing Master of Science and MBA dissertation proposal and applying for ethics approval book. I am the author of this book, and its ISBN number is 978-1800945838. You can find it on Amazon, whose link is you can see on this slide. You can also access some more materials on my own website, which is examsolutionprovider.com. The link is below. Before I take you through this presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit more about my background. As I've said, I'm Dr. Fletcher Piri, and I'm an online tutor for Masters in Public Health, doctorate in Public Health Professional Practice, healthcare management, nursing, and Masters in Business Administration, marketing, and other business-related subjects. I also tutor students who are taking Masters in Public Health. I have a passion of supporting adults who are studying online to achieve their education and professional dreams through online tutorials. Briefly, there is a global need to educate and train future business managers in all the disciplines of business for the future success of businesses. Advancement in technology has provided opportunity for adults to study business degrees at the comfort of their own home, where they can actually balance studying with their other domestic and work commitments. Therefore, combining these reasons or these factors, we increasingly see many adults trying to get onto the studies through distance learning or online learning. This also has been actually influenced by advent or the COVID-19 pandemic, where majority of us were supposed to work from home. So this is what to provide opportunity for adults to get onto studying their master's program through online or distance learning. Now, I'll talk more about the importance of this book. This book helps Master of Science and MBA students who are expected to carry out research and compile their findings into a dissertation or project report, which is submitted as their final piece of assessment for their degree award. Both dissertation and project start with the preparation of the proposal, which is submitted for ethical approval. Now, this book covers what is needed to be incorporated in the Master of Science and the MBA proposal from the start to the end. It provides real examples of work from previous students showing mistakes that they were making, and obviously show how to correct them through the feedback I had provided. Therefore, going through this book will help online adult students learn from previous students' mistakes and use the knowledge to prevent them making their own mistakes in their proposals. Therefore, this will improve their quality of proposals they submit, which in turn increases their chances to succeed. Much of this book is based on the work I did with the number of MBA students that I have supervised over time, including those who were studying with UNICAF University in Malawi, who were mostly from Nigeria, Zambia, Tanzania, and also South Africa and Botswana. In addition, also, I worked at one of the university as a distance learning supervisor, dissertation supervisor, which obviously also supervising a master's in international business. So these experiences or experiences from this work, they are the ones which have contributed to the production of or to the writing of this book. So what really is the concept behind these books? So there's not only one, there are quite a number of books that have published, already have published 3 of them, and I've got 2 more to publish. What we know is that we learn through observing mistakes of other people, okay? And this is supported by Simona. And Simona said, wise people learn by other people's mistakes, and only fools, they learn by their own. So here, Simona in 2009 is trying to say it's important that we learn from other people's mistakes. If we learn from their mistakes, then we won't be able to make our own mistakes. So therefore, this informs me why I decided to write this book by showing the mistakes other students were making, highlighting them, and provide the feedback. Now, Simona is not alone. Also, there is a Shinwald who actually said, learn all you can from the mistakes of others, that if you do that, you won't have time to make them all yourself. So it's really important that we need to learn from other people's mistakes, particularly from previous students. And this is much more effective in terms of adults who are studying online. Always they ask, can you give us samples of work of the previous students so that they can learn from those? Now, we tend to use things that are correct, not those that have mistakes. But from my experience, students improved their work when they were given, shown the mistakes that other students were making. And then also not just looking at the mistakes, but also showing them how to correct them. So I'm really confident and convinced that this book will help those other students who are learning online, who left school some time back, and they are returning to their studies. Now, obviously, in this presentation, I will not take you through the whole book. There are about 8 chapters in this book, but I'll concentrate on chapter 1. And the rest of the chapters, they'll be the same. They'll show exactly the same. So you learn from the mistakes students were making for each chapter, and then how they were corrected. So there are feedbacks from me correcting what they should have, actually how they should have written those materials. So this is extremely important for you. Right, okay, so let's look at chapter 1. So dissertation start with choosing the research or project topic. Now, Masters of Science students in international business, they were actually calling their last piece of work as project, where MBA students were calling it as a dissertation. So the principles are exactly the same. There's no difference at all, whether you call it a project or you call it a dissertation. The difference are very, very minor. Depends on what school wants or university wants to call it. But the process and what is required is actually the same. So chapter 1 provides Master of Science International Business and the MBA adult online students with knowledge and understanding of how they can choose and frame their research or project topic that maximizes their chances of success at both ethical approval and also at the dissertation stage itself. Now, in this chapter, there are quite a number of things we need to consider when you are trying to choose the topic. So what will help you to choose the topic? So there are a number of things you need to look at. So here, we are going to look at 6 of them, but does not necessarily mean these are the only ones. There are quite other additional consideration that you need to make. So the most important, the far most important, is actually think of your own interest. Okay, now your own interest is extremely important because the dissertation or project tend to cost you a lot of time. So you spend a lot of time on it. So if you are not interested, you are not motivated, it's difficult for you to sustain that motivation over a period of time until you are able to produce the project or dissertation report to submit. So your interest is extremely important. We also need to think of the level of study. What is your level of study? So undergraduate is different from postgraduate. So is your dissertation, your project for postgraduate, or it is for undergraduate? So these will be different, but I'm going to go through each one of these. The third one, you need to think of the relevance of your study to business management. Now, business management has quite a number of functional departments. So this is what you learned at the basic level, looking at the structure of your organization. So the functional structure of your organization looks at human resource management, research and development department, marketing department, finance management department, strategic management department. There are quite a number of other departments depending on the size of the organization you have. There's also, don't forget, there's a operations and logistics department. In some cases, you may also have sales department, which is totally separate. So you need to look at it, obviously, the relevance of all these in this particular area. The fourth one, also your previous assignments performance. Why? Because the assignments which you did very well shows that you have actually much interest in that particular topic. And also it shows that you are interested in that particular topic, but also you did research a lot. And then also increases your chances to do well. The fifth one, think of your future career aspiration or your expected position in the business organization. So if, for example, you want to become a strategic management manager, then you need to take a topic that is relevant to strategic management. If it's the marketing department that you want to be a marketing manager, then you need to pick a topic which is related to marketing. The same is the finance management. Again, you need to take a topic which is relevant to that. Also, the last one is to think of your future studies aspiration. Again, I'm going to talk more of this when I reach that particular time. So now I'm going to look at each one of these separately. Okay. Yeah, so the first, as I said, is to think of your own interest. So of all the areas of business management, yeah, you have marketing, you have human resource management, you have strategic management, you have research and development, you have financial management, you have corporate strategy. As I've said, there's also operations and logistics. There's also what you call purchasing and supply, depending the size of your organization. So the size of organization you're working for is going to have multiple functional departments. So what is missing there obviously will depend on the size of your organization. So you need to think in which of these interests you. So based on that interest, then you take a topic that is relevant to that department, because that's where you want to work when you finish your degree, when you are awarded your master's or your MBA. As it says there, so choose the topic that belongs to any of these areas in which you are interested to work in the future. Don't forget, adults do not just go back to school for the sake of going there. No, it's because they want to improve their earning capacity, or they wanted to improve in terms of promotion. So they are not like young ones who are just learning for the sake of learning. So it's important that what you choose should be more focused and more relevant to your own interest. I also said you need to look at obviously think of the level of your study. Okay. Now, it is important that the topic you choose fits the level of your study. For example, undergraduate topic will not be the same as that of postgraduate. So you will see when you look at the postgraduate topics that we're going to go through here, you will see the difference between these. Now, Master of Science and MBA are postgraduate level courses. So therefore, you need to pick a topic that is relevant to at this level. Therefore, the topic choice needs to be to reflect this broader strategic level of your course. That's extremely important. Both of these postgraduate courses, they tend to look at a strategic level of things, looking at a bigger picture, not a tiny picture. No, you tend to look at a bigger picture. So it's extremely important. And also it needs to have something to do with critical analysis, critical evaluation. So you will see when you look at the samples of the topics that students provided and how they could have been improved. I've also said that you need to think of the relevance of your study to business management. It doesn't make sense that you are studying business management. So, for example, you are doing MBA or Masters in International Business, and then you choose a topic in, for example, geography. It doesn't work that way. No. You need to make sure that the topic you choose is relevant to the study that you are undertaking. So Master of Science in International Business and MBA are business management and administration related courses. Therefore, the topic you choose need to be related to this. If the topic you choose is not related to this, then it will be deemed irrelevant. Therefore, it is not accepted it will not be accepted during the time you submit for your ethics approval consideration. Yeah, so take this into account to make sure the topic is relevant. Think of your previous assignments performance. So one of the most important elements of Master of Science in International Business Management and Masters in Business Administration topic choice is that you need to do well, okay? Which means not just passing, but getting higher marks, okay? Therefore, one of the clues that can help to choose the topic in which you are more likely to score higher marks is the review of your assignments. So the assignments you have been writing over a period of time, look at them and then find out which ones you got the highest marks. That will reflect the interest you have and demonstrates that you have a better knowledge and understanding of that topic area. So therefore, you choose a topic that is related to the assignment that you got the very high marks. So therefore, choosing that topic obviously will help you to do well or to perform well, okay? Think of future career aspirations or your expected position in the business organization. So what is it you want to aspire to get? Normally, it might be in terms of promotion. So if you take that subject or that dissertation topic, how will that help you to gain the knowledge, skills, and understanding and competencies to get to the next ladder to where you want to be promoted to? Or if you want to change the career, which career are you aspiring? So might be moving from marketing department to finance department, or moving from finance department to human resource management. So those need to be taken into consideration when you are choosing the topic. As I'm saying here, just to remind you that the majority of adult students do not go back to school for fun. They always want to use Master of Science degree or Masters of Business Administration qualifications either to get promotion at work or to get into a new job. Now, both of which enhance their earning capacity that in turn will improve their disposable income. Therefore, this increases the purchasing power, which in turn improves the living standards of themselves and their families. So that's why they go back to school. Therefore, it makes sense to choose Master of Science and MBA dissertation topics around the work that they aspire to get into after their Masters in International Business or Masters in Business Administration. Okay. Then think also your future studies aspirations. So what do you want to do in the future? Now, in the same way I've explained above, or adult students may take Master of Science or MBA studies as a stepping stone towards getting into further studies. For example, there is DBA, which is Doctor in Business Administration. It does make sense if for example, you want to do your doctorate, because you can develop your master's topic. So the dissertation that you did at the master's level, you can develop it further to reach to the level of a doctorate. So you would have done almost a quarter of the work already by the time you're doing your doctorate. So thinking of what future studies do I want to pursue will be helpful to choose the topic that you are also going to use it when you start your doctorate degree. So I say, therefore, it makes sense to choose a Master of Science and MBA dissertation topic in the area in which you would like to pursue in your further studies after completing these master courses. There are other guidance in the book. So if you go to the book, it's going to give you more guidance. Okay. Now, from here, I'm going to look at just a few samples of topics that were actually chosen by students, and then provided the feedback how they could have improved them. Okay. So the first one is critical evaluation of the impact of corporate social responsibility on the organizational performance, Nissan Company Limited. Now, those black is the way the student provided the topic. The blue is the additional feedback I had provided. Okay. So as you can see here, Nissan Company Limited could be used as a case study. So this student's research design should be a case study. So therefore, what is using Nissan Company Limited as a case study. Okay, so that makes it really sense, and it's much more focused and it's much more clear. We know the design is going to be a case study, so you need to justify why he's using case study as his approach. Okay. The second topic was a study of employee job satisfaction in reducing staff turnover at Max Telecommunications or telecommunication. Again, you can see there for what is missing. In the same way with the first topic, what is missing there is critical analysis, but he has provided critical evaluation. So that would be fine, because that's the level, that's a master's level. We expect to have critical analysis, critical evaluation of whatever you are doing. Yeah, so here he's missing completely. There's no critical analysis, there's no critical evaluation. So I have added as a feedback how to improve this topic, which was a study of employee job satisfaction in reducing staff turnover at Max Telecommunication. So what he would, this as a suggestion how we would have improved it is a study on the critical evaluation of the role of employee job satisfaction in reducing staff turnover at Max Telecommunication. Again, he could have used this as a case study, which would have been his or her study approach or her research design. Yeah, so obviously adding critical evaluation makes the topic to be at the level which is a master's level or MBA level or MSc level. Again, what is interested is what role has employee job satisfaction has got on the employee in terms of reducing the number of people leaving the company. Okay, so that would be much more clear if he has added thoughts. Okay, let's look at the next topic. Okay, so this is another sample of a topic submitted by the students. So the critical analysis and evaluation of change on the success and the failure of business, and he was going to pursue this using a literature review. Now, again, the topic is very good because he has got critical analysis there, but also he has got critical evaluation. So therefore, he's looking at, is he already at the level, master's level or MBA level, which is very good. But this student was actually picking this for where he I think it was a she, I think this student was from Malawi. So he was picking this from, I think she was working for Malawi Housing, I think it's called the Malawi Housing Corporation. And that's where she was working. So this would have helped her to be promoted once she finishes her, she was doing MBA then. So therefore, we needed actually to relate it back to the place where she's working. So you can see there, my feedback was I would have preferred you using housing in which you work. So if she did that, it would have been a case study. Okay. So I said, please identify 2 to 3 changes that were implemented in Malawi Housing Corporation. Yeah, so she was working for Malawi Housing Corporation. Now, remember, she's looking at the change. Yeah, so evaluation of change on the success and the failures. Now, change is broader, so we need to narrow it down. Yeah, so therefore, because she's reviewing the changes that they were implemented in the Malawi Housing Corporation, what she needed is to identify maybe 2 or 3 changes that were implemented and see whether they were successful or they were not successful. And if they were successful, why they were successful. If they were not successful, why they were not successful. So this is extremely important. And this is what is the critical analysis or critical evaluation is about. So it's not just looking at one side. Okay. So as I said, please identify 2 to 3 changes that were implemented in Malawi Housing Corporation. Now, you need to review these based on their importance, how they were actually implemented, including resource allocation, then evaluate their own strengths and weaknesses and reflect on them to generate the lessons learned and what strategies can be developed for the future so that they can learn from, if there were mistakes, they can learn from those mistakes so they don't get repeated in the future. If there were successes, then also they need to learn from those successes. So it will be easier to implement other changes in the future because then they will have experience, they will have learned from their previous implementation of these changes. So being specific would actually be much more useful in this particular topic. I hope you can see the sense that I'm making. Let's look at the next one. Okay. The next one is also, again, was from Malawi, but I think it was working for the banking sector. Again, it was studying MBA, as far as I can remember. So the topic was an assessment of credit risk management in financial banking sector in Malawi. Now, obviously, there's a problem with this topic. It does not fit at a strategic level. It does not provide any critical analysis, any critical evaluation. Again, it's too generic, so it's too broad. That would create a problem because you need to think of I think a couple of limiting factors that you need to take into consideration when you are picking a topic, either for your master's in business administration, which is MBA, or your master's at international business management. So here, the limit that you have, number one, you have a limit in the number of words that you need to write in your dissertation, the final dissertation or the final project report. So you are limited. They may give you 15,000, they may give you 8,000, they may give you 10,000. I can't remember what was the word limit for this particular group. But if you are the one studying this, it should be, if you are studying for, what's the university? UNICAF University of Malawi. I think this student was studying for UNICAF University of Malawi. Now, I said the topic is relevant to business administration and management. However, below are the improvement suggestions. So here are the suggestions. You can see from learning for these improvement suggestions, will help you to improve your own topics when you start choosing your own topics that you need for your master's in international business, or for your master's in business administration. So I said I suggest the title to be, so I can say an analysis and evaluation of credit risk management in the financial banking sector in Malawi. So you can see, I suggest you add the setting. Now, the setting could be specifically location. Banking sector in Malawi is quite a large industry. There are many different banks within Malawi banking sector. So when I was talking of setting their specific location, could probably look at Lilongwe, or could look at Blantyre, which is the commercial center of Malawi, or you could actually look at the regions. So maybe in the northern part of Malawi, or central region, or southern region, or you could look at specific districts like Zomba, Mangochi, and other areas. So you can actually narrow it further. Otherwise, as it is, it's very, very big. I think I did not finish it. That the second reason why, the second limiting factor, apart from number of words, is also the time that is allocated for you to do your research, do your analysis of your data, and then produce a report, or a project report, or Masters of Business Administration dissertation. So these two factors. Number one, the number of words for your Masters of International Business Management project, or Masters in Business Administration, which is MBA. So you have a limited number of words. And the second reason is because you have a limited amount of time you need to be at the university. So you're not going to be at the university forever. Okay, so they give you specific months when you need to do to conduct your research and finish, and then submit your dissertation or your project report. Right, okay, so then I said below are further suggestions. So it's provided with further suggestions for improvement. The choice is going to be for the students. My job is to broaden the thinking of the students when I'm actually tutoring at a master's level. It's not for me to choose what topic they need to write about. I remember I had a doctorate student who wrote to me, say, can you actually suggest a topic for me? No, we don't do that for dissertation. We don't do that for doctorate level. No, postgraduate level, no. Dissertation is something you spend time a lot, and you need to sustain the perseverance. You also need sustain the commitment and the motivation. So somebody else choosing a topic for you is not helping you at all. It's completely rubbish. Okay, so don't accept that. You need to choose the topic, but you can be guided how you need to choose that topic. The moment you have chosen the topic area of your research, then my role is to try to support you, try to help you to develop that so it becomes more meaningful, helping you to think wider, think broader. What are the alternatives that you can have? So here I have 4 alternatives for this specific topic to help the students to think through and then he chooses by him or herself. Okay, so the first A is an analysis and evaluation of credit risk management in Malawi financial banking sector. Yeah, again, this is broad, so therefore you need to think of how much time you have, and also the word limit in terms of your dissertation report or project report. And now you can't, if you can't finish, then you need to narrow it down. Number B, critical analysis and critical evaluation of the performance of credit risk management in the Malawi financial banking sector. Again, still, this is broader. So what you need to choose probably specific banks. Might be commercial banks, might be national bank, or choose a specific area, let's say Lilongwe, or in Blantyre, or in Zomba, or in Mzuzu, or you can choose a region, so northern part or southern part or central part of Malawi. The third one was critical analysis and critical evaluation of performance of risk management strategies in the Malawi financial banking sector. Again, here you can use a case study. If you use a case study, you are going to pick specific banks. So it may be Malawi Commercial Bank. I think it's called the Commercial Bank of Malawi, National Bank of Malawi. There are other new banks which are more private, which have come after I had left already Malawi. So I don't know much about them, but the other one I can remember, which was a private, there was a New Building Society, which again, you can use that depending, but remember also depends where you are working, because you need to be relevant to the organization you're working for, so that when you finish, then you can readily make use of what you have learned or what you have researched about. So you can ask maybe your organization or your banking sector to obviously implement what you have researched about. The fourth suggestion is comparative study. So when you are doing comparative study, you need at least more than two, because you need to compare between the two. So comparative study on the critical analysis and evaluation of the performance of credit risk management of banking financial sector in Malawi. So I can say there, you need to use at least two specific banks. Now, again, these are going to be case study. So your research design here is going to be a case study. And these case studies, you're going to compare, compare them. So what are their performance in terms of risk management, okay? So if you do that, then obviously these topics, they are improved to reach at your master's in business administration or master's in international business management level, okay? Right. Okay. So as I said, I've only looked at chapter 1, but there are 8 chapters in total. So chapter 2 is helping you in terms of writing an abstract. Okay. So how do you write abstract for your proposal? Chapter 3 is writing introduction, background, research aims, research objectives, research questions, research rationale, and also expected results. As you can see here, in terms of the outline, although they are in chapters, but these are the sections of your ethics proposal that you submit for ethics consideration to be approving your research. Okay. Chapter 4 is about writing proposal literature review, which again gives a headache to many students. So again, you have got examples, there are samples, and you've been provided with the feedback that will help how to improve your literature review. Chapter 5 is obviously looking at the proposal methodology, which always gives the headache to many students, but I have also explained this in detail also in the proposal for nursing students, which is a separate book. Again, I've extracted the chapter 5 for that book, which I've explained more in terms of how it looks like at the proposal and what tables you need to draw to help you. Just remember that the majority of universities, they tend to encourage students to conduct secondary research rather than primary research. But for this particular university I was working for, these two universities I was working for, they do not mind. They have no problem at all for students to choose a primary research, but choosing primary research tends to take time to have approval. Okay. Then the next is chapter 6 is samples of full proposal. So you can see how the full proposal look like. Okay, so this is the proposal which you're going to submit for your ethics consideration. And again, there are feedbacks there. And then you need to look at the references. So this is the reference list. Okay, so looking at the reference list, how do you compile a reference list? They need to be written in alphabetical order in the recommended university format, because each university is different. Therefore, you need to understand how do you actually make this or write these references. Also, sometimes you need the appendices. So how do you place these appendices? Where do you place them? So the whole is looking at the structure of your proposal. And obviously, chapter 8 is using your proposal to apply for ethical approval. So once your proposal has actually been written, completed, then you take that proposal, particularly for UNICAF University. So although you have got this research proposal, but they will prefer you to extract this information and then use it to complete their ethics form. Okay, so that's what you do for UNICAF University of Malawi. All right, so you pick this proposal, the content of it, and then you use it to complete your form. So specifically, you are just picking or lifting these sections. So these sections, there's the sections in the form that you are supposed to use for your MBA application for your ethics consideration for UNICAF University Malawi. In the Bedfordshire University, where also I taught this Masters of Science in International Business Management, you submit the proposal as it is. So the moment you have completed this proposal, there's no any other form you need to complete. You just submit as it is. So chapter 8 would be missing completely from those who are studying with Bedfordshire University. Okay, right. Yeah, so as I've said, this is not the only book I've written. I've got the other books. So 2 other books are to do with writing nursing assignments. Now, its ISBN number is 9781-800-946-583. Again, you can find it on Amazon. The link is below. The other one is obviously, as I said, is to help those students who are other students who are studying nursing, to help them how to prepare for proposal and also submit for their ethics consideration. This has got ISBN number 981-800-946941. Again, you can find this book on Amazon. Okay. Right. Okay. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to receive those questions. I'll be able to answer them. And here are my contact details. So you can send me an email, which is pdexamsolutionprovider@gmail.com. Or you can telephone me. This is my work telephone number. If you are phoning from outside United Kingdom, then you need to add +44. Okay. But if you are within United Kingdom, you can call me on that number. As I said, I have also got a website link, which obviously you can access, and there are other videos you can have a look at. I do tutor economics, maths for student nurses as well as maths for GCSE A levels. So you can actually benefit from those videos. You can watch them. As I said, my books can be found on Amazon. So all of them are on one page. So once you click this link, you're going to see all of them. Okay. So I hope this helps, particularly you, my fellow mature students or adult students who are studying only online or distance learning. I'm so passionate to support such students, particularly who are keen to learn, not those who are keen to make me write assignment for them. And I don't, even how much money you can pay me, I'm not going to do that. I prefer to teach you so you can learn. It doesn't matter how many times I repeat, because that's the only way you can sustain the knowledge I've provided you, and also you're going to be effective in terms of your work capacity, and also building up your own confidence and your own what you can call your own ambition, and also fulfillment or achievement of your education and professional dreams. I hope this helps, and goodbye for now. Bye.